Brad Evans here. It's time again for another Bring the Noise. I'm going to be here for the next several minutes, getting you queued up for week numero dos of the NFL slate. Fantasy football questions, if you got them. If you got any sports betting, maybe hot takes, got a favorite parlay, SGP, or player prop that you would like to share with the entire group, go ahead and fire away right now with all your questions and comments. You can see the various ways to get a hold of me via the Facebook at Yahoo Noise, the old handle there, on Twitch at Big Noise 78, or on the YouTube, where of course this is streaming as well, on the Fade the Noise channel. If you're using the X gonna give it to you, the Elon platform, I had to post a link on there. It's really difficult to communicate because there are brick walls, barriers that have been built for programs that are not associated with that specific platform. So you got to do a little bit of jockeying about and circumventing to get a hold of me. But if you do so via the other apparatuses below on the Facebook, Twitch, or the YouTube, I will happily answer your question. We're going to get to some player props, some favorites that I got. I'm going to count them down 5-1 here in a second. I'm not going to run through all the latest injury news and notes that are out there. The only one I'm really going to share with you is one I found rather surprising this morning, that Deonta Foreman of the Chicago Bears is going to be inactive today, which means a whole lot of Khalil Herbert and a whole lot of Roschon Johnson, a very talented rookie, big, bulking, bruising back, appreciable yards after contact per attempt, looked really good as a receiver too. In week number one, had over 5 receptions, over 30 yards, and a receiving touchdown. And working away from Vita Vea and that interior strength of the Tampa line, he could have another sizable impact as an occasional 3-down rusher. So Roschon Johnson, if he's still sipping pina coladas there in the free agent pool, say you're in a 12-teamer and you need some depth adds, he is somebody worth entertaining. If you have multiple flex positions and he is just chilling like a villain on your bench, you might want to elevate him into your starting lineup if you have some other sketchy options. My hand is raised. I'm in like a 14-teamer. I'm also in a 16-team league, and I'm rolling with Roschon Johnson in the flex and a couple of those formats, given how scant some of the options are and the depth of those specific leagues. All right, with that out of the way, and again, there's a lot of actives and actives that are clearly captain obvious if you pay any attention to the various news and notes that are out there. I'm not going to belabor them. I'm not going to really dive into them. Hopefully you did all your homework, but I want to answer as many of your questions as I possibly can here the next few minutes. But first and foremost, let's get to my Sunday edition of the Fade 5, and I hope you are listening to the Fade 5 podcast with Nathaniel Lundy, the good sir. And we're doing 3 times per week. We'll have a new episode tomorrow. We also have on Thursdays and Fridays. You can watch or listen to the stream on YouTube, or just download the audio version podcast wherever you get your podcast. Check us out, the Fade 5 podcast. And numero 5 on the countdown today. And I'm bringing the noise with Stephon Diggs. Can you Diggs it? Hell yeah, I can. I'm going to take the over on 75.5 receiving yards against those vaporless Las Vegas Raiders and that secondary, which I think is going to be a bottom feeder for much of this season. Minus 115. Best odds right now, the biz available at Caesar Sportsbook. Week 1 was spectacular for Diggs against a far stiffer secondary than New York Jets, arguably the best secondary in the NFL. 13 targets, 10 catches, 102 yards, and a touchdown, number 6 in total air yards, averaged a robust 2.27 yards per route run. And now he's getting Marcus Peters. Oh, rickety Marcus. Yeah, he's only 30 years old. I would kill to be 30. And look at me. I mean, I feel like I'm 65. But in reality, I'm really 45. And Peter is far younger than I am, but playing relatively my age. To be specific, a guy last week targeted 5 times, gave up 4 receptions, 10.5 yards per catch, and a 101.7 passer rating. to his assignments. And again, I think this Vegas secondary for much of the season is going to largely be a pushover. Diggs, as long as it doesn't get out of hand too early. And, he's resting in the fourth quarter. I think it's going to be another 8 to 10 targets. I think it's going to be easily 5 to 7 receptions, north of 80 yards. And you see the number there at 75.5 at Caesars. Numero quattro here on the countdown of player props I love. Let's do a little SGP and come with me. If you are digging this on the make it, Mac Daddy is going to hopefully make me jump out of my chair tonight in the Sunday night affair between the New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins. And as Mac Jones, give me 225 plus pass yards on that alt line. Give me one passing touchdown, just one, and give me Kendrick Bourne 3 or more receptions. All 3 of those legs hit against the Fins. You're looking at plus 125 there at DraftKings. I think Mac Jones has got QB1 potential in 12-team leagues this week. I think I ranked him at number 12 specifically, and I might inch him up right before kickoff, maybe 10, maybe even 9. Would not be at all surprising if he mirrored what he did in week 1, which is 316 yards and 3 passing touchdowns. Had the one miscue, the one INT, but chipped in 15 rushing yards. Yeah, working that dad bod for all the tequila carved individuals that are out there. And so he negated that INT that he threw in the game, number 3 in total air yards, number 3 in total deep ball attempts, threw 6 passes beyond 20 yards. And I love the rapport that he built instantaneously with the tight ends and with Kendrick Bourne in this game. And that's why 3+ receptions. I think he's got to catch at least 4 balls, but we're going to lower the bar, make it comfortable, and hopefully he'll smash the over on this, and even in the first half, and this will be a sweat-free part of the leg. Bourne ran around 90% of the time in week number 1, and Devontae Parker still very iffy, and a guy that's more of a home threat anyway, working out of the boundary. So put it all together, Mac Jones, 225 plus pass yards, 1 passing touchdown, and Bourne 3+ receptions, and a sneaky shootout affair against the Fins, plus 125 there at DraftKings. Marching on, numero tres here on the Bring the Noise countdown of player props that I'm digging. Man, I love me some Jahan Dotson today. I think he could put wide receiver 2 numbers up in 12-team leagues for those enthusiasts out there of fantasy land, whether you're a standard participant, a half-point PPR, or full-point PPR. He should have a stand-up and stand-out week numero dos. The number here is just 44.5 receiving yards against the Denver Broncos. Why am I so enthusiastic about this? Well, sizable workload of week number 1 against Arizona. 7 targets, 5 catches, and 40 yards. So a little bit lower than the proposed number here, available at Caesars at minus 133. But whether he's working outside or in the slot, I think he's going to take care of an advantageous matchup or 2 in this one, especially against Demir Mathis in that secondary. Mathis last week gave up a league-high 150.2 passer rating in the NFL. As a member of the Denver Broncos, targeted 9 times, allowed 8 receptions for 95 yards and a pair of touchdowns. So a guy that, I know it's but heavens, it's a 1-game sample size. Well, I'll take advantage of it and see if he continues to struggle. And Bassey, even the slot cornerback for the Denver Broncos, gave up over a 90 passer rating in week number 1. So I'm working away from Patrick Surtain. I think it's going to be a strategy of a lot of teams that are out there. And I believe Jahan Dotson will be the guy who benefits most from the twirling footballs that Sam Howell throws in his general direction. So give me the over, 44.5 receiving yards. Again, available at Caesars at minus 133. Numero dos here in the Bring the Noise player props countdown. I'm going to get to your comments and questions here momentarily. A.J. Dillon, make me some dollars and play like a villain, would you please, in the ATL anytime touchdown. Best odds that I found this morning, and the odds have been swaying all over the place, especially now that Aaron Jones is officially out with that bulky hamstring. Plus 125 at FanDuel. We know the MO of Dillon. and that is punishing fools between the pipes. And I know last week against my Chicago Bears, very disappointing. 13 carries for 19 yards, only 2.00 yards at the contact per attempt. But if the Packers are going to be able to move the ball vertically, and I think they will in this game, who is going to get ball to the belly when knocking the door to splash six? It's going to be A.J. Dillon. So really good shot for him, maybe to get 5 to 7 red zone touches in this one. And hopefully one of those, I just need one to cash in and hit on that 6 at plus 125. Remember, Atlanta last week gave up over 160 total yards to Carolina running back. So a team that could have some vulnerability in the trenches. And I think the Packers offensive line will move mountains and open up some avenues for A.J. Dillon to plow through. So again, give me him on an anytime touchdown. Numero uno on the player props countdown. This is the week. I don't know, week number 1. I said that was going to be the week, and he played a lousy 19 snaps. But Jahmyr Gibbs, I think his volume is going to skyrocket this week. Dan Campbell, straight from the horse's mouth, said, we got to get him the ball more. There is going to be more play design and opportunities for him, whether as a rusher, whether as a receiver. So let's slap the two together on an SGP. And I built this morning at DraftKings. Jahmyr Gibbs, 35-plus rush yards. And Jahmyr Gibbs, 20-plus receiving yards against the Seattle Seahawks. And you see the juice there. Oh, yeah, I worked the shoulders to get seduced by it, baby. Seduced by the juice at plus 130. Gibbs, I think it's going to play around 45% of the snap share today. So it's probably going to be a 55-45 split between him and mandatory Montgomery, who's got excellent odds of scoring a touchdown in early bonus time. I also like Gibbs on anytime touchdown prop, plus 130 best odds right now available at FanDuel. But you look at Gibbs, week number 1, the Seattle Seahawks play the LA Rams, and they really bought up and contained the run. Only gave up 2.19 yards per carry and 83 total yards. But Cam Akers looked like a blind basset hound. His vision was awful in that game. No burst, no shimmy, no shake. Really a shell of what he showed late last season. Seattle came into the season, according to Mike Clay at ESPN, ranked number 23 on that interior line. So there's still question marks, I feel, around the run defense, despite how they performed against the Rammies a week ago. Meanwhile, Gibbs, 6 missed tackles forced in week number 1. That was the most of any running back in the National Football League, and he only had 7 carries, 4.86 yards after contact per attempt. That's gaudy. Again, I think the snap share was going to increase significantly. I took him on this prop as a standalone on the rushing plus receiving yards. I grabbed that at 65.5. It's already up over 70 and a half at many books. But if you want to pare it down and wager on these individually and then slap them together and get that plus money, it is a sound, hopefully money-making approach. I think Gibbs has got a teeter on the top 10 running backs for fantasy football purposes this week. All right. With my top 5 player props out of the way, let's go ahead and get after it. Over 50 comments. Oh, you guys love me. You really love me. Or you're just annoyed by me. Or maybe I'm just conveniently located answering your questions. Again, there are 3 different ways to get a hold of me. Via the Facebook at Yahoo Noise, where this broadcast is streaming, on the Twitch at Big Noise 78, or on YouTube as well with the Fade the Noise channel. And don't forget to check out the Fade 5 podcast with Nathaniel Lundy and I. New episode tomorrow, all betting, all the time, every episode right around 30 minutes, or honestly less, like old school dominoes. Avoid the noid. All right, let's go ahead and get after it here with your comments. And batting leadoff is none other than a Hockey Nut 41 on the Twitch. AJ Dillon or Raheem Mostert, DJ Moore or Hollywood, Marquise Brown. What the Bears got to do? They got to force feed DJ Moore 2 stinking targets. Inexcusable last week. I tell you what, I will go back to, I might get poisoned by the waters, but give me DJ Moore. what I feel is a premium matchup against the secondary of Tampa. I hope the offense get a hell of a lot more creative with DJ Moore, whether they're operating out of the slot or outside. And please run a little bit of screen action like we saw the preseason. That's an effective play call, high percentage throw. And we know that DJ Moore is one of the best in the business, yards after the catch. So give me, hey, Mr. DJ. DJ Moore, and now I go with AJ Dillon. Again, going to be the main man. Going to dominate the red zone and goal line opportunities in this game today against the ATL. And as I mentioned before, the Atlanta Falcons allowed an obscene number of yards a week ago in that opener. So really good shot, I feel, for Dillon to get around 60 to 80 combined yards and a touchdown. Good luck to you there, Hockey Nut. Brandon Stockton says, Romeo, where out thou, Romeo? Dobbs or OBJ? Easy. This is Romeo Dobbs. The 2 touchdowns was not a fluke last week. Now, he's not going to score every single game, but I think he's going to have a prominent red zone role. He has a trust of Jordan Love. And again, this Atlanta secondary, not all that impressive on paper. I think they're probably going to be a bottom 10 unit for much of the season. In a game with some sneaky shootout appeal, I think Jordan Love to Romeo Dobbs, I would not be at all surprised to connect again for a touchdown in this one. And hopefully Dobbs will get a little bit more run. He only ran, I think it was like 18, 19 routes in the opener. A handful of catches, just 20 yards. It doesn't really matter. I think he's going to get the touchdown, and hopefully the hamstring will not flare up, and he'll see more action on the field and be the heartthrob, the apple of Jordan Love's eye. Good luck to you, Brandon. The only Sutton, my go-to weather guy. Any weather impacts this week, Baltimore, Cincinnati. Could be some rain there in Cincy, but again, these guys aren't witches. Let's not overrate the weather this time of year. The most impactful weather phenomenon that is out there, whether you're talking about fantasy football or betting, is sustained winds of 25 miles an hour or greater. I don't really see anywhere that I saw this morning in some of the preliminary forecasts that is going to play a factor one iota. So in my opinion, I'm not worried about the rain. It could get a little bit sloppy from time to time. That increases the fumble risk in any kind of matchup. But yeah, I mean, you might have some raindrops, but these guys won't fizzle out. They'll be fine. So start your guys with confidence there in Baltimore and Cincinnati. Sean Besso says, hola, amigo. Hola to you. Full PPR with Eckler out. I need one of these 3. Breece Hall, Tyler Algier, Justice Hill. Out of the 3, give me Algier, who by all indications is going to still split the workload with Bijan Robinson. And I'm not talking like 70-30, 80-20. I think it's going to be close to 55-45. And it could be more advantageous for Tyler Algier. I think it's going to be a hot hand situation. Guys going to be rotated in. I think you're going to see both running backs on the field occasionally, with Bijan getting split out wide or put into motion, because he is such a supreme receiving threat that I still feel Algier is going to get around 13 to 15 touches and always a threat to find the end zone. Though Green Bay did a really good job containing the Bears between the tackles last week, but the weakness for Green Bay was outside the tackle box in the receiving game, and Algier's got some soft hands. Not as good as hands as Bijan, but could catch a couple of balls and just boost the bottom line there in the end. So give me Algier. Good luck, Sean. Brandon again, Javonte, Juggernaut Javonte, or A.J. Dillon. It's A.J. Dillon. Again, doubling down on that. Jimmy says, hey, Brad, with Aaron Jones and Amari Cooper out, I need a wide receiver to flex. Here are my options. Jackson, Smith, and New Jimbo. What are those? I have no idea. Moving on, Mike Page says, Jordan Love or let Russ cook. No, I'm not going to let Russ cook. I wouldn't remotely allow him near a Bunsen burner or stove. I'm going to go with Jordan Love. I think it's another 2 passing touchdowns, around 225 yards. It may pad the bottom line with 10 to 15 rush yards as well. Quake1214 says, with Amari Cooper unlikely to play on Monday. Yeah, and that's a big question mark with that Love muscle injury. That's a groin, by the way, for those that are unaware. And the Steelers being a good matchup for slot receivers. How high are you ranking Elijah Moore this week? I ranked him as a back-end wide receiver 3. And I would actually move him up if I knew for sure that Mari Cooper were going to be sidelined here in week numero dos. But tremendous amount of upside there for Elijah Moore, a little bit higher floor compared to last week as well. Corey says, would you drop Sky Moore for Rashid Shaheed for a bench spot? No, I would not. Again, Shaheed is like a third man on the totem pole there. You got Michael Thomas, who looked really good. The numbers may not have shown on the surface, but it looked like vintage Michael Thomas along Chris Olave, who was absolutely dynamite. And, it's going to be Olave, Thomas, 1, 2 in that pecking order, a little bit of Jawan Johnson. It's going to be mixed in. So Shaheed, I know we had a monster week 1, could have a decent week 2. I took the over in an SGP on 20-plus receiving yards for him, and I'll share that on tomorrow's Live on the Line. Watch it on the Valley Sports RSNs and on Stadium at watchstadium.com/live. Watchstadium.com/live. Believe it or not, it's a show I created, I EP, and I co-host with my outstanding colleagues and Cameron Smith and Danny Kluppinger. So check it out. Senior Fun Buns every single Friday. Tank Williams every single Thursday. Yeah, you don't want to miss Live and Line. We'll have more on Shaheed in that matchup, but I would not drop Sky Moore. Give him another week and see what happens. Ryan says, pick 2 to PPR. Ramondre, Javante or Dylan. Dylan, auto in. And I think Ramondre Stevenson, auto in as well. Could have a formidable role as a pass catcher in a game, which Atul, I think, is going to crack 50. And I know it's well south of that right now, the over-under in the sports betting market, but I think that number's too low. Miami, all they do is play shootouts, and I think Mac Jones got to have a lot of success vertically, as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast. So give me Ramondre and give me A.J. Dillon. More Brandon Stockton. This third question already. Javante or A.J. Dillon for the third time. You start A.J. Dillon, you jackwagon. All right, moving on. Aubrey says half point PBR flex, Dylan, Cook, or Jamal Williams. Oh, man. Really, really tight between Dylan and Cook. Given the PPR element, I might go James Cook. Actually, I think I have James Cook slightly higher in my ranks, and that's my gut feeling there. Good luck, Aubrey. Keith says, bonjour, Brad. Oh, bonjour, Keith. For my quarterback 2, he's wondering, should I go Matthew Stafford against the Niners or Jimmy G in his matchup against the Bills? Garbage time could be appealing for Jimmy G, but I'm going to go with Stafford. There is a defensive weakness that exists, and they're few and far between. For the Gold Panthers to San Francisco, it's in the secondary. And Stafford will, I think, try to, attack them down the field. Don't be surprised, throws a couple of picks, but it could be like 260, 275 pass yards, maybe gets a passing touchdown or 2. Little bit higher upside and ceiling, I believed, tied to Matty Stafford than Jimmy game manager Garoppolo. Good luck. Sean says, another flex question in a full point PPR. Needs 1. Boyd, Herbert, Roshan, Justice Hill. I'm going to go Roshan, man. I'm telling you, he's going to play at least 45%, my guesstimation, of the snap share. Going to have a sizable role as a pass catcher, just like he did in week 1. Got to work outside the tackle box. I like his largeness. I like his break tackle ability. I know some people say, well, he's upright, he's too stiff. But the guy he's got some plow tendencies. He can steamroll over dudes. Give him a full head of steam, and he does exactly that. So a low to bring down. I think he's going to have, again, a large role as a pass catcher and rusher. Decent upside, too, at plus 360 at DraftKings for an anytime touchdown. I laid a half a nugget and a little sprinkle action on that. Donald says, OBJ, Dalvin Cook, or Jerick McKinnon in a flex spot PPR. I'm going to go with Dalvin. Slight edge over McKinnon there. Evan says, pick 1 in a PPR. Godwin, D-Hop, or Judge Judy. I say slam the gavel on Judy, although Chris Godwin is awfully appealing. I tell you what, I rescind that. I'm going to take it back. Don't slam the gavel on Judge Judy. It might throw me in the pokey for backing that. I'm going to go Chris Godwin. It's the Bears. I'm a Bears fan. This defense sucks. They're going to be highly exploitable all season long. The answer here is not D-Hop. I don't trust him. I'm missing practice all week with that bum wheel. Matt Vario says, Zach Moss, A. Jones, or Nico Collins. I'm going to go Zay Day, Yippity, Zuda Zay. Give me Zay Jones for that first one. I guess it is only one. Gracias, huevos, and team huevos. Hashtag. Well, thank you for all the huevos-y action. I have huevos-y cantes. So I'm going to go Zay Jones. 7 targets, 5 catches, 55 yards, and a touchdown in week 1. Yes, I bet on the over on his yardage prop, which is sitting at 45.5. Yes, I featured him. If you follow my fantasy flames, my column isn't living anywhere right now because nobody wants it, apparently. Nobody wants my writing skills. I'm the most decorated writer in fantasy sports history. They're like, screw you, dude. We hate your salacious tones and ridiculous quips and quirks and all that nonsense. So nobody is paying me. So I'm still writing because I broke in this business as a writer. I love writing. And as a result, I'm posting it free on the X, the Twitter at Noisy Huevos. All of my takes there. And Zay Jones was my fantasy flame wide receiver. Keeping that column alive. Been writing it for nearly 20 years. Why the hell not? Shoemaker says half point PPR. Dobbs, Christian Kirk, no. Judy, no. It's Dobbs. Again, I think he's going to score again. Joey says, need a wide receiver and a flex. He's got Puka Nacua, Nico Collins, Jerry Judy, P. Ryan. Ooh, P. Ryan is sneaky upside today. Dalvin Cook or Justice Hill. I'm going to go with Samaje P. Ryan because I'm a clack. I'm a dice roller. And I think Puka Nacua is going to, fall back toward the mean. I'm going to go with Dalvin Cook for the other. And I know he's in a split backfield there with Breece Hall, but should see at least 12 to 15 touches in the Jets matchup against the Dallas Cowboys. Chris says DJ Moore, Jerry Judy. Again, I'm going to go DJ Moore. We'll see if Jerry Judy is going to get the full complement of snaps. A little bit riskier there. And, some trust issues with Russ. He was spread the ball all over the place. He fed Cortland Sutton on one drive and then went away from him again. Like, it's inexplicable sometimes, the things that occur within that Broncos offensive scheme. More of the same. Doesn't matter if it changed coaching. Going to Sean Payton, who is supposed to orchestrate brilliant offensive schemes, they're still just kind of spreading the love around and not really feeding the main guys there. J.R. Gil Padilla says Dalvin Cook, Kyron Williams, or Pacheco. Pacheco for me. J-Red says, oh, yeah, Daddy want, Daddy need, Daddy gotta have it. Sledgehammer. Notre Dame plus 7.5 against the Ohio State on FanDuel. Yeah, sure. Why not? Go for it. I will not touch that game. Well, I probably will eventually, but I haven't even remotely thought about it yet because I'm just focused on the pros. But if you want some early action on the collegiate gridiron, I got my ass kicked yesterday in that sports, and I had a really great start to the season, so we regressed. Early lean, probably Notre Dame, plus the 7.5. The quarterback for Notre Dame has been phenomenal this year, to say the least. Ezekiel Velasquez, pick 2, 1 running back and 1 wide receiver. CeeDee Lamb in. Michael Thomas, Allen Robinson, Kelly Dillon, and Zach Moss. It's got to be Lamb in your lineup, no question about it. And again, I'm going to go with A.J. Dillon. I think Kelly is a little bit deceiving, and you got to be careful with him. And no matter what size league, Tennessee's front line is formidable. They are vicious. They are containing. They are unrelenting. And I think that's going to be a storyline for much of the season. So I really don't like the matchup there on paper for Kelly. I think the Chargers are really going to rely on Justin Herbert to go, vertical early and often. That's why I like Keenan Allen. And I think Gerald Everett could be a sneaky good play, whether you're in the player props market, the DFS world, or in some deeper leagues out there in the flex. Watch out for Gerald Everett. Corey says bench stash, drop Sky Moore for Shaheed. Again, Corey, to answer that, no. Jimmy, you gave me some cryptic question earlier. So here's a long-winded one. He needs a wide receiver and a flex. Smith and Jigba, no. Ertz, maybe. OBJ, no. McKinnon, maybe. Juju, no. And Mostert, maybe. Okay. I'm going to flex Mostert. And they need a wide receiver? Yeah, I guess you do. I guess OBJ. Well, Juju. I'll play Juju. Upside, again, sneaky shootout appeal, maybe a volume grab there. CC Rogers, Sam, I am, or Mac attacking. No, it's not Sam Howe. It's going to be Mac Jones. Making it, Mac, Danny. Again, I'm on him. I wrote about him in the Fantasy Flames on my X feed at Noisy Huevos, and I'm sticking with it. Mac Jones, 250 plus, couple of touchdowns on the prime time lights. Ryan says, Ola, make it Ola. Musgrave or Higby? Give me Higby. Yeah, Jimmy. Okay, I already answer your question. DJ says, looking at Hill, Herbert or Kelly for my RB2. So Justice Hill, no, get out of here. I think Gus Bus is going to get the heavier side of what's going to be an RBBC. You're going to see some Melvin Gordon worked in, just signed up the practice squad. And, I mean, Hill was saved only by the 2 touchdowns last week, 8 for 9 other than that. I mean, he was horrific. Give me, man, I guess I'll go with Kelly with the upside player, knowing that Rashawn Johnson's going to be heavily involved in that Bears ground attack. Tommy says, flex PPR, Brian Robinson, Kirk, or Gabe Davis. I'm going to go with Gabe Davis. Great matchup there against that secondary of the Las Vegas Raiders. Dylan or Kelly in a PPR. AJ Dillon again for me. Sean, I think I've answered like 4 of your questions. Gibbs, Ayuk, Lockett. Yeah, there you go. It's Gibbs for me all day. I'm all in on Jahmyr Gibbs, everything. Daniel says Higbee or Laporta. Laporta for me. Terry says AJ Dillon or Flowers. Ooh, close. Like both of them, but I'm going to go with a guaranteed volume and workload, and that is AJ Dillon. Another one from Jimmy. I think it's like the same 5 people. They must be in like a dozen leagues answering the questions. Or asking the questions, I should say. One more. I have Amari in another league. Full point PPR, pick 1. Juju McKinnon, Herbert, Puka, Ertz, or Zay Jones. It's Zay Jones. For me, Derek says Pacheco, Jamal Williams, Sutton, Tony, Dobbs, Moss. Oh my God, your entire roster. You need 2 in the flex. Give me Godwin for 1, and I'm going to go dice roll with Isaiah Pacheco. I ran 19 routes in week number 1. A little bit of a surprise there in that opener against Hwa. Corey, yeah, bench stash. You've already asked me this like a dozen times. George, hola, amigo, hola to you. Ayuk or Kelly in a full point PPR. I'm going to go Brandon Ayuk. Puka or Mooney in a follow-up question. Give me Puka for that one. Mike says Treylon Burks or OBJ. Give me Burks. Mr. Love or Russ the Bus. No, it's not Mr. Unlimited. Give me Jordan Love. CC says Josh Reynolds or Garrett Wilson. Really, you're getting too cute. It's Garrett Wilson still. I know it's a Dallas secondary. I know it's Zach Wilson. But remember, Zach Wilson and Garrett Wilson connected for over 1,000 yards last year. There is a rapport. There is a chemistry that is established in the passing touchdown in the opener that went from Wilson. Well, who to go to? The other Wilson. So stick with Garrett Wilson. Woodbine 3, Ola Amigas. Glad to see you're back this year. PPR, so half point PPR, JSN, Smith and Jigba, or Jerry Judy. I'll go Jerry Judy there. Gypsy Queen, Brad. What's up, Gypsy Queen? You're the best and much appreciated. Thank you for joining the broadcast. As always, they did pick 2 out of the 4. Brian Robinson, Najee, Kyron Williams, or Rashad White. Rashad White is in. If you follow the spreadsheet picks that I post, always free, always transparent, at Noisy Huevos, I have Rashad White for anytime touchdown. He had all 7 red zone running back touches for Tampa in the opener. He had 70 carries, a couple of receptions. Bears struggled containing or receiving running backs to Aaron Jones in week number 1. So a lot of upside there for him. And I guess I'll go with Brian Robinson. I like him a little bit more than Najee in terms of the touchdown scoring potential. So that's where I want to go there. George says Amari Cooper just stated to be out Monday night. Yeah, I mean, he was training in that direction. Calvin Austin, by the way, is what I would recommend. If he is available off the waiver wire, you can plug in. He's going to be in the Monday night affair on the side of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So the other side, compared to Amari Cooper, you could go DPJ, but I like Austin as the long shot play. Although you have Rashid Shaheed already on roster, and honestly, that is your turnkey option to plug and play and hopefully avoid a donut. Hockey Net says James Cook or Josh Kelly. James Cook. Again, Josh Kelly to me. It's a trap. It's a trap. Admiral Akbar, where are you? There he is. It's a trap. Tennessee just, it suffocates running backs. CC says, salute, last one, and a flex. P. Ryan, Roshan, Dotson or Gus Bus? I'm going to go with Jahan Dotson. Best matchup by far on paper compared to all the guys there. Shane says to question Ertz or Komet. Slight advantage, Zach Ertz. Bourne or Herbert? I'm going to go Kendrick Bourne. I think he catches 5 balls. I think it's another 50 plus for him tonight and a touchdown. Joey says, not regretting my Illinois under win seasons bet. Anyway, yeah, I'm not regretting it either. Although I might have sprinkled a little action on the over, so I am regretting it. What I'm not regretting is making the decision to attend the game yesterday. I stayed at home. I popped a bottle early on a little añejo, poured it nice and neat, and I watched the utter destruction and the sorrowful execution of our Fighting Illini against the Penn State Nittany Lions. Very good team, by the way. National title contender? We'll see. But certainly, at a minimum, in my eyes, a top 15 team, and I know they're higher ranked than that. Anyway, flex question, Bourne or Moss? For me, it is Mr. Bourne. Go with that identity, plug him in. Hopefully, he's going to score the touchdown that I am projecting. Guillermo. He needs one. Hola, amigo. Hola to you. Full point PPR is Zay Flowers, Dotson, Kirk, or Dobbs. Kirk is an odd man out here. The way I rank it is Dotson 1, Flowers 2, Dobbs 3, and they're pretty tight. So slight advantage if you only need one on Jahan Dotson. Corey says bench stash. Again, Corey, look at me, man. You have submitted the same question, I think 5 or 6 times. Go back. I gave the answer earlier on the broadcast and be done with it. You're not that important. Moving on. Joanne says every NFL HD game live now. Well, thank you for the spam link there, Joanne. Evan says pick one at PBR. Godwin, D-Hop, Judge Judy. I'm going to go with Chris Godwin. Hey, there's Corey again. Hey, it's a stupid same question. DJ Metcalf or Chris Godwin this week. Super tight. DK Metcalf by a hair. Oh, it's Joanne. She's back with another bullshit link because she's a robot. John, 1 point PPR, James Cook or Najee Harris. Give me James Cook, please. Come on, Beasley says James Cook, Dave Montgomery, mandatory Montgomery, or Christian McKirk. No, Christian Kirk out in a half-point PPR. I'm going to go with James Cook there. Again, I think there's a really good shot. 68-80 combined yards, probably 3-4 receptions, and maybe a touchdown. Maybe a TD for James Cook. Standard league from Mark. Need a wide receiver 2, OBJ, Puka, or Sutton. This one's got Cortland Sutton written all over it. Having Jerry Jeudy back, I'm hopeful will help him draw some more favorable coverage. And I know he was really hot on like series last week, but that series got him a touchdown, got him in the end zone for 30 receiving yards. I think he'll do a little bit better this week and a decent shot of finding the end zone yet again. Evan says, pick one at a PPR, Godwin, D-Hop, or Judge Judy. I think I went with Godwin earlier on the broadcast. Hey, Joanne, go kick rocks. Tommy, Lockett or Dobbs. But I also got DK in my lineup. I would diversify your bonds, Wu-Tang financial style. Give me Dobbs. Caleb says half-point PBR with Cooper looking like he's going to sit Monday. Replaced with Godwin. Yes. Flowers or Dobbs. Good Lord, I would have played Godwin anyway. Give me Godwin. Evan, you keep hitting return. It's the same question over and over again. Steve says Cook or Zach Moss at the flex at a full point PPR. James Cook by a landslide. How soon does Rashawn take over the Bears backfield? If he has a quality performance today, I will go on the record and say he will be the heavy side of the RBBC moving forward, at least over the near term. He's built. He's highly constructed, perfectly crafted for a 3-down workload. Loved his skill set coming out of college. Evan says, same question. He's got Corey disease. Kimberly, good morning. Hi, Kimberly. One quarterback league, Deshaun Watson or Anthony Richardson. Give me Anthony Richardson. I think he finds the end zone with his legs. That's why I got that anytime touchdown prop at plus 190 on the old spreadsheet at Noisy Huevos on the X. Kanan Cash, pick one in a PPR. JSN Bateman, who's not healthy, or Jaden Reed. I go with Jaden Reed. Take the chance there. Gypsy Queen, do you like Dylan over mandatory Montgomery in a PPR? Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying it. I do. Because A.J. Dillon, I know Patrick Taylor's going to have a role. May get around 5 to 7 touches, but Dillon should dominate the snap share and the opportunity share as long as Green Bay is competitive, and I think they will be. It's kind of the nature of Atlanta. Kanan Cash, again, Dobbs or Burks. Give me Romeo. J. Red, hola, amigo. Hola, I need 2 running backs and a flex. Gibbs in, Connor, Mike Williams, Algier, and Damian Pierce. I'm going to go Connor with 2, and then I'm going to go Damian Pierce with the 3rd. I know Houston's got a lot of absences on that offensive line, but Pierce, it's all about a volume play with him. Probably 15, 18 touches today. Sutton says, hola, half-point PPR. I need a running back and a flex. Walker, Mostert, Zay Jones, Zay Flowers. Walker is in, and then out of the Zays, I'm going to go with Zay Flowers. Slight advantage over Jones, who I also do like quite a bit today. The only Sutton, morning, amigo. Hola, I need a running back and a flex and a half-point PPR. Mostert, Walker, Zay Flowers. Oh, I just answered that. So there you go. He's got 2 handles on 2 different channels there. That was YouTube from one and Twitch for the other. Oh, interesting. Donald says, Nico or Gabe. Give me Gabe, please. Kavan says, good morning, Brad. Hola, amigo. James Cook, Christian Kirk, Dave Montgomery, or Roschon Johnson is James Cook for me. The Chef Boyardee of wide receivers. Oh, it's going to be a tasty bowl of SpaghettiOs for you old school people that know about that processed meat and all kinds of ingredients that probably are highly, involved in carcinogens. But whatever, I ate a lot of it as a kid, and that's why my brain doesn't really work like it used to. Robert says, pick one, Kyron Williams, Cam Akers, or Dalvin Cook. Give me Dalvin Cook. Took the under on Cam Akers, by the way, 42.5 rushing plus receiving yards against San Francisco. That's all it is. Guy only ran 2 routes last week. It hurts so good. Come on, Jalen, make it hurt so good. He did on the ground on Thursday night. Someone offered me Tua and Hill for Hurts and Brown. Wow. They offered you Tua and Hill? Taking that stack? Yeah, I think I'd take it. I roll the dice there. I know Tua, injury risk, but man, that's too tempting to pass up. John says Fields or, hey, he's still pretty. I'll take Justin Fields. Scotty says Fields or Richardson. I'm going to go Justin Fields. Johnny Jr. says, hola, amigo. Hola. Connors, Miles Sanders, and Mixon need 3 in a point PPR. Let's see. Yeah, 3. He's got 4 names there. I thought he only had 3. My brain's not processing things. Dillon's in. Mixon's in. And give me Connor. James Conner for the other one. Not Jimmy Connors, but James Conner. Moving on. Roy says Terry McLaurin, not healthy. Or Nico. Give me Nico. Plus, McLaurin's probably going to see a lot of Patrick Surtain in coverage of the Broncos today. Not a great matchup. Hey, Brad, says Shane. Hey, Shane. Half-point PPR, Ertz or Komet? I think I went with Ertz early in the broadcast. Bourne or Herbert? I went Bourne. Jenny. Hi, Jenny. Late to the game again. It's all right. I'm still here. I still have a couple of minutes left. PPR flex. Puka, Kyron, Williams, Algier, or Judy. Again, I'm going to go with Algier. I think it's going to be still a full-blown RBBC. I don't think it's going to be the 50-50 split that we saw in week 1, but 60-40 Bijan to Algier, which means knowing Atlanta, their propensity to run, they have the second highest run rate of any team in the league last year, are on pace to being in a similar category this year. That could be 13 to 15 touches yet again against the Packers. So give me Algier, probably the highest floor of the group. Steven says, Hall or Puka in a PPR? Am I really debating it this week? Bring it the whiskey. Yeah, it's a really good question. How much Breece Hall we really going to see? Tough defense. I'm going to go with Puka. Both tough defensive matchups. But I think the volume is going to be there for Nakua. Danny says, Jerry Judy or Pittman. Oh, Pittman all day. And thoughts on Mark Andrews plug and play? It's not a plug and play. He's healthy. He's in my lineup. I got him ranked as my TE2 behind Travis Kelce. I don't care if he's on a pitch count, as in Kelce. I think he's going to probably find the end zone. Anthony says Michael Thomas or Gabe Davis. Give me Michael Thomas. Nurka says Shaheed or Kirk. I'm going to go with Shaheed. Brett says any first-time scorer props. Go away, Corey. Yeah, I'm with you on Corey. Get the hell out of here. A.J. Dillon, first-time scoring touchdown today. Jahmyr Gibbs. I like him quite a bit. And I had one other one as well that was going to flow out there. Oh, for Monday night, Nick Chubb, rub-a-dub-dub. pull up a chair in the Chubb Club and grind on a pole. So there's 3 options for you. Anytime touchdown, the first touchdown scored, mark it. CC, yeah, thank you for the kind words. I enjoy your interactivity is the word I'm looking for on this broadcast every single week. Stellar says Millie Maker, Roshan, Tucker, or Spears. Easily Roshan for me. Jonathan says, hey, Brad for the flex, Rashad White, Rashid, Shaheed, or Dotson. Oh, man, it's really close between Dotson and White, but give me White. Donald says Kirk or Gabe. I'm going to go Gabe. Dandy says, thank you. Happy Sledgehammer Day. Yeah, Daddy won. Daddy D. Daddy got to have some stinking winners. They need a lot of them. God, it was rough on the college gridiron yesterday. You know, you win some, you lose most. That's betting, folks. Connor or Flowers? Connor for me. Hoops 55, Elijah Moore, Drake London, Hopkins, or Puka pick 2. I'm going to go Puka and Elijah Moore. I just have some reluctance around London because of the style of play for the Atlanta Falcons. Tough defensive matchup, too, against Rasul Douglas or Jair Alexander, 2 talented DBs in that Green Bay defensive backfield. And D-Hop, how much is he really going to play? Brett says, I love you. Yeah, I love you too, Brett. Good luck. Matthew says Jamal Williams or Jerry Jeudy. I'm going to go Jamal Williams. Really good shot. Find the end zone. I know we had a disappointing week 1, but it got a snap back, hopefully with a vengeance. Key says the energy level is epic. That's what it always is. I always bring the noise, bring the energy, hence the name of this broadcast. That is a question and a word I know it's in French that I cannot pronounce, so I'm not going to attempt to do it. I took 4 years of Spanish in high school, and all I remember really is a couple of things like hola, uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, diez, and count to 10, and donde está el baño, which is really important if you're in Mexico. You need to know where the bathroom is. We still playing Garrett Wilson all day, every day. I am right now, especially with the other options on your bench. Although, Keith, I will say this. If you want to clack and roll the dice, I would go with Zay Flowers over Garrett Wilson as a potential option, but if it were my team, I would still play Garrett Wilson. I still think he's got a clips of 51.5 receiving yards prop that's out there. And I think he's got a really good shot of finding the end zone. Noon says, hola, amigo, hola. He thinks also blanket CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee lines up primarily in the slot. So it may not be an exclusive shadow coverage. I think Dallas can get really creative moving about in formation. He will still get touches and probably accumulate bits and pieces, a little nickel-dimer action to go Bailey Raft on you on shallow crosses, quick slants, that kind of stuff. So I'm still rolling with CD. Thoughts on Zach Moss today from Taj. Underwhelming. The Colts offensive line, not the greatest in the world. I still think Anthony Richardson's got to lead this team in rushing. They were an embarrassment last week, with the exception of Richardson on the ground. Richardson, like a Jalen Hurts type, is a goal line gremlin. He could steal a lot of that work. That's valuable. So it could be like 15 for 45, something like that from Moss. Maybe a couple of catches. Good luck trying to get a touchdown out of him. Jimmy says, great show. Thanks for doing this. I'm going to be here every NFL Sunday. Yeah, bringing the noise. That's what I do. So thank you, Jimmy. Hopefully we'll be back next week. Sean says, thanks, Brad. Good to see you. Good to see you too, Sean. Thanks for joining. J-Red says, all amigos, I need one for PPR flex. Mike Williams, Algier, or Damian Pierce? Ooh. Give me Mike Williams at a PPR. Yeah. If San Diego, almost said it, and I just said it. If the Chargers move the ball vertically, I think they'll do it rather uninhibitedly because that is the weakness, the clear weakness of the Tennessee Titans. They are outstanding against the run, but very sketchy against the pass. Colin says, Laporta or Njoku. Give me Sam Laporta, the pride of Iowa. Does Cooper being out boost Njoku? Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, no doubt. Noon says, go amigos, I'll play him. Good luck. Oh, Jimmy, laugh out loud. Hey, you're back. And with a different question. Way to go, Jimmy. Loving golf today. Yeah, I play golf over Dak. Sure. Donald says, thank you for your advice and help. All right, guys. It is 10 till noon. I'm out of stinking time and out of breath here on the Bring the Noise broadcast. Do me a favor. If you didn't thumb this up already on the YouTube, do right now. Give me the thumbs up. I'm here every single Sunday at 11 Central, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time, answering all of your pressing fantasy football questions. Or if you have any hot sports betting takes, I'm happy to have a conversation or discussion. Could be college related, could be exclusively pro. I don't care. Check out my free spreadsheet picks. Every single pick I log on that spreadsheet. True story. I have actual dollars behind it. Am I broke? I'm getting there. All the money that I made in college basketball and Major League Baseball was up over 90 units in both those sports this year. I'm giving it back already. Got killed in college, barely up on the season. But hopefully we'll get that back. And I'm down like 9 units right now in the NFL. So fingers and toes crossed. This is the day the gambling gods shine kindly down upon thee. We hopefully get a few winners and finish in plus money territory. But check that out. I would say check out my columns, but I just post paragraphs on the X because I have nowhere to write right now. But make sure you watch Live and Line. It's a television show that I'm very proud of. Very thankful to be working alongside Cameron Smith and Danny Kleppinger Monday through Friday. Brandon Funson makes appearances on there. Matt Fortuna, our college sports and really football insider. Tank Williams on every single Thursday. So I'm all over the place. I'm doing a show with Tank on Bleacher Report, breaking down the fantasy football waiver wire now every single Tuesday. But Live and Line is my gem. I love it. I created the show. I'm EP on it. I got an awesome team, and it's a tremendous show if you're into sports betting. Even if you're not, you can get all kinds of fantasy tidbits out of it because we focus a lot of our attention on the player props market. All right, good luck to you in week numero dos. And until next time, adios, amigos.